actual real time. Let me see how it is real time now, because it's giving me green for the stream health. All right, so let me.
Yeah, I'm saying it now. King Kings. Is that what you're working on?
Wait, what?
I see King Kings on the screen right now.
No. Check. I should have. I'm in animate now on the Sage Head.
Wait, what the hell? That's from April. Yeah, never mind. Hold on.
You might have to jump back out and back in because I just changed the.
Yeah, I see it now. Never mind. We're good.
Okay. All right. So, but you see it clear what I'm doing.
Right now, I see you're over to the right. Now you're down, dragging around line codes.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So I'll just show you the basics right now. So like basically, right now I'm gonna put this logo in real quick and make it so that when you click his head, it takes you directly to the website. So that's what I want to make this kind of interactive to the point where if we put this this type of thing on Patreon, it can be easily it can be something easily shared and people would want to interact with it and everything like that. So I'm just doing things ugly right now. But all right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is make it so that when you click this icon, you go to the website, and then the second thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make it so that when you click Sagehead, you go to an actual Sagehead page on the website. So basically, the first thing you're doing is selecting what you want to create as a button. So in animate, I'm gonna call it. Fuck it. I'll call it animate. I can't call it a fucking 10-year-old program. And animate, when you're making basically everything's built on symbols in this program. So right now I'm converting something to a symbol, and it's asking me, okay, am I making it into a graphic? Am I making it into a movie clip? Or am I making it into a button? So when you asked if you can make animated what's it called, animated little clips or something that you can put on a website, I said yes, and that's exactly what this program's for. So like if I turn this into a movie clip, and I'm not gonna get into all that right now, but you have different options on what you can do and what you can turn things into. So basically, if you did turn it into a movie clip, it would be like an isolated animation. So I can have basically in some of my old asset bundles or whatever in Flash, what I would do is put together like Sagehead, for example, and I'll have all his animations laid out with different symbols. So you got to have 4 different symbols. One would be walking, the other one would be cocking back the bow, the other one would be crouching. You know what I mean? Like it's isolated animation. So right now we're just gonna make it into a button, and we're gonna change the name. So like you have to the naming and everything in this program is really important. In Photoshop, it's not that important. You can kind of just name stuff, as you see fit. But in this program, you want to name things exactly what it is and so you can find it later, because at this point already you're coding. So we're gonna name it something simple. It's just OGS button, and we're gonna click on the button, bring up our properties, and right here on the right hand side it says instance name. We're gonna go over here and we're just gonna do the same thing, OGS button. You'll see that in a second once we get into the code. So from here, let me move that out the way for right now. From here, actually, yeah, we'll get a really basic little app for Sagehead real quick. I wanted you to look at that football app because I literally just made that for the football team, for our Sunday or Saturday league or whatever, to just be an easy place for everybody to have plays and everything like that. So all right, so from here we got the button right there. I'm gonna double click on the button. So I want to make it so that if we hover over this button, it enlarges, so it kind of gives you a reactive effect to it. So I'm going to go down here, and this is called the timeline. And animate, basically, you have everything's based on the timeline. So if you're making a character walk, you're going to have all the frames in that timeline. So I'm just going to add this keyframe and expand it up real quick, so that right here, if you look on the actual timeline, it says up, down, over, and hit. So when you're over the button, it's going to get bigger. When you're click down on the button, you can have it just go the same. So I'm just going to copy this keyframe right here and put it over there, so that when you click it, nothing is going to happen. I can make it so that when you click it, it turns green or red or something like that. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm just going to keep it simple. All right, so we got that set up, so it's reactive. I'm going to test it real quick. So I'm going to go Control Alt Enter. It's going to export this movie real quick. So if you go over, if you see that right there, we got a little basic reactive button. So it's not going to do anything yet. I'm clicking it right now. It's not going to do anything, but we have to add code to it. So right now, I'm going to go back to the main part of animate. I got to get used to calling it animate. It's gonna be weird for a second.
What was it before?
Flash.
That's right. Yeah.
It's just
no.
Yeah, it's just Adobe Flash. All right, so let me go. All right, so right now we're gonna get into the coding side of things. So the first thing I want to open is actions. So basically in Adobe Animate, you have these things called actions. You have a programming language in the program called ActionScript, and ActionScript's used to make things move. It's a whole programming language used back in the day to make Flash games. So basically tons and millions of games, millions of animations, millions of cinematics and things like that have been made in this program, or actually the predecessor of this program, and used ActionScript. So it's not a predominant coding language anymore, because the whole a lot of developers just moved away from Flash in general. But me personally, and what I want to incorporate with Orlando Game School is bringing back Adobe Animate into the game development side of things. Right now, it's just poised as an animation program, but I believe it's much more stronger than that. So jumping over here right now, we're on the action screen, so I'm going to make that bigger. And this is going to be the same type of thing that you're dealing with Python or C#, where you're laying out your code. So I'm going to pull up the code snippets in a second. All right, so I got code snippets up, and it's giving me different options. So basically, if I was making a web app right now versus an Android app or something like that, you can use different script. So right now I'm in the code snippet. Basically, a code snippet is a chunk of code. It's a chunk of code that you take and you can throw onto a button or an animation or something like that, and either give it movement, give it an action, give it a purpose, something. It's going to do something to it. And the idea is that you can take a lot of these code snippets and put them together and create an app. You know what I mean? And then create something, a prototype, create a game. Like I said, a lot of games were made like this. So the code snippet, and mind you can create custom ActionScript code. You know what I mean? You don't have to just use code snippets. So
basically like Bootstrap.
Yeah, exactly. So right now, and then mind you, I know you know some of this stuff. I'm just like I said, I'm recording it, and I'm just trying to make it so that, I'm gonna edit it down to a few minutes and make it real quick. But the idea is that it's just something that if you've never experienced any of this, this is the first entry into any type of programming.
Oh, it's object oriented.
Yeah. So like right now, I'm just gonna click the web page. So I'm bringing that into the action panel, and as you can see, this is the best part of this program, because I'm starting to think that it should be taught first before you get into any other programming language, because that's how I learned, and it just makes things easier in the future. So like it's, let me make this bigger so you can see it 100%. But basically right now on the screen you have I have it so that I created an action so that when you click on the button, it takes you to the Orlando Game School website. So basically, really all I have to do right now is go to where all right, so I mean, it tells you exactly what you need to do. I know what I have to do because I've done this before, but basically, if you're new to this, all you have to do is throw in these code snippets, and it's going to tell you exactly what you need to do. So if you look at the top of the code snippet, it has gray text. That gray text tells you right now, hey, clicking on a specified symbol instance loads up the URL in a new browser window. Simple stuff. And then the instructions say just replace adobe.com with the desired URL address. Keep the quotation marks. And that all that is just commented out code. You know what I mean? They literally write the instructions into the code. And I'm sure you know about it, but like basically the better your code is, the more comments that you're going to have in your code. Considered by some people. Some people, I guess they don't really care too much about commented code.
Yeah, I know that's I've been doing this for X amount of years, but I said, well, fuck off. Not everybody's been doing it like you. You started off somewhere too.
Right.
I respect code comments a lot because it means you took time to explain yourself. It's very helpful.
Well,
that's why I like that's honestly how I figured out I had a big scoring engine with the effects. The commented as well.
Right.
It's like, look, I get that it looks like a lot of code, but if you know what you're looking at, it doesn't fucking matter. You know how to look over comments. It's very simple shit. So,
right.
Yeah, I like code. I like code comments a lot, actually.
I guess the point I should have made is that if you're working in a team, it's pretty.
You have to have comments. Absolutely. Because nobody's gonna know what you're. Even unless you're very descriptive, and then at that point, your scripts and your functions look very verbose, and it's just okay. Well, it's just too much.
Exactly.
Like this function takes this URL and takes you to the homepage of this application.
Mm-hmm.
That's the name of your function. Like, whoa, easy.
Yeah, exactly.
Just call it home and then put a comment on top, right?
Right, exactly. All right, so like right now, we got the button working. I click on it, and you can see the little the mouse cursor is busy, so it's loading up the URL. It's probably gonna open up what's it called? Microsoft Explorer, because let me see.
When you're running your test within does it show you? There's a feature that you can check your URLs when working with Django and Python. If you scroll your mouse over a specific link, it'll tell you what the next page is going to open up. Does it do that animate?
Wait, what do you mean?
Like if you scroll over the icon, is it going to show what URL is going to be opened up once you click it?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think so.
It's hard to spot. It's like towards the bottom left of your computer if it does. Again, since it's a program, I don't think it does it because when I test out my code, I actually test it on my local host on Google Chrome. So
I got you.
Yeah. See, okay. Never mind. I'm seeing it now.
All right. So it loaded up. They loaded up the page. The website's not finished right now, so that's why it's not loading up an actual page, but it does work. The button does work right now. So that was really quick, to show you how that button works. Let me go back to the actions page. I want to show you some other code snippets that they got available, because like I was saying before, this will be good to play around with sometimes, because it'll give you the ability to kind of do some really quick prototypes of things. Where is my actions window? There you go. All right, so back over here, bring back up the code snippets page, and I'll just go down it real quick. So you have everything from actions to bring up play like video and change your mouse cursor and things like that. to everything from like literally like motion gestures for the phone. So it's a really up to date coding language in the sense that it has everything that you need to make a mobile game. You know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
has like right now I'm hovering over a code snippet that says pan event. So pan is if a pan, a pinch and zoom, and a two finger tap event. Those are all just like gestures on mobile. So you can make a really simple game with just basic basic motions on mobile. So let me yeah. And then same thing with sound and everything like that. So you can use it. I think we've talked about it before, making like a quick little music player or something like that in Flash or in Animate. And right here in this section right here, you can kind of see what I was talking about. You can literally make like a little jukebox if you wanted to. But let me see. And then I'm gonna open up a new file real quick because I want you to see what a finished project looks like with these example files, and then I'll jump back over here and start working on the actual level design. So, all right, so like right here on the actual entry screen or whatever, the home screen, you have it kind of shows you everything that the program is capable of. On top, you have everything from templates for ads to websites to video game stuff to educational things, and it has the resolution that you need for all that stuff. So right now, I'm just gonna go to this little rocket landing over here so you can kind of see just an example of what an animation would look like. So I'll just play it real quick so we can see what we got going on. Let me know when you've seen the animation.
Yeah. A rocket.
Yeah, you got it. All right, so close that real quick, and I want to show you how easy. So that's a sample project in Adobe Animate. I want to show you how easy it is to just swap that out. Just to swap that rocket out to something that you want. So I'm just gonna go to Google real quick, type in Galaga ship, go to images, just grab this real quick for an example, because basically I'm gonna stop saying I think people should learn Animate before Unity because I just do. I think you should. So what I was about to say is that what I'm about to show of an example of in Adobe Animate is something similar that you're gonna encounter in Unity. So in Unity, we have prefabs in Unity, and that's essentially what I'm doing right now with Flash or with Animate. I'm grabbing this rocket right here, and this rocket's a prefab. So if I zoom in to this rocket that they made for us, let me see. If I double click it, it says rocket nested. So it has a nested animation in here. So this nested animation is just a basic rotation animation. So you just have basic. Actually, I don't want to say it's basic because there's a lot going on over here to give it a 3D effect. So if you look down here in the actual timeline area, you have all the parts of that rocket that you need to make it animate. So you have the flames. If I turn off the flames, obviously you're not gonna have flames while you have that rocket. If I turn on the flames, I can change the color of the flames, and I don't have to change the entire animation. So I want to show you how to change an animation real quick, because programs like this and the fact that Unity uses prefabs, I think it just makes game development a lot easier in the sense that you're able to collab with somebody and kind of make changes on a big character or a big game asset or something, and you're not doing too much damage by changing too much. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? All right, so let me grab him and actually put him on the rocket body. So I'm gonna unlock that layer right there, and I'm just gonna paste it on there right now. It's gonna look kind of janky, but that's the point. So if I wanted to just see, hey, what is, let's say I just made this rocket in another window. What does my rocket look like animated? Just give us a quick little example. Now we export the movie. Now, obviously, like I said, it looks janky, but now we got the little Galaga rocket landing instead of the original rocket. So that was just a quick run through of some of the sample projects and what you can do with sample projects. Yeah. So let me get out of there and go back to what we got to work on. And so I have to actually grab from my laptop. I got to grab all the actual SageHead files. So I'm just using the basic silhouette right now for this archer. Let me grab a Roman soldier for a bad guy. I'm not everything right now. I'm just kind of going off the dome because I'm just starting up the blueprint here. But basically, I'm just going to add elements for every part of the game that we have so far. So I know. Let me visualize it for you. I know I'm going to do the first part of the level, the first part of the demo. I want to just have like a free range, kind of like a village setting where you can start. I would say you start in a group of houses, and let's just say if you go, all right, let's say if you go left, all right, this green block is gonna be the home that you spawn in. Oh, I think it's just catching up.
It's not live. Let me check real quick.
Oh,
There we go.
okay. All right, so I'm gonna break down the first scene right now. So basically, when you spawn, you're at the home. And what I want to do to just get players used to the archery real quick is have kind of like a target range behind you. So behind you have a range, and then in front of you you can hunt. So I want to make it so in the beginning, let's just break it down by Unity scenes. You know what I mean? So like in this first scene, and I'll even isolate down here as scene 1. It's just, I'll call it just homecoming or something. I don't know. I'm just spitballing right now. We can change all this later if we need to. But yeah, see, scene 1, he kind of wakes up and comes to or whatever, and the player has the ability to go all the way to the left, and then you have a free range where basically you just have different targets out there. I think it would be cool to have different like wind conditions and things like that maybe can affect the bow or something or the arrow. But we can just kind of play around with that. The whole purpose of this first scene is just to help us really to get a good feel of running and jumping and shooting, and just the real basic gameplay before we get into anything anything extra. So yeah, that's pretty much that right there in the first scene. The home area is gonna be
Oh, hold on, Alex.
yeah.
I just saw that you did something like this, the home square towards the end.
Yeah.
You dragged the bottom of that rectangle and it almost turned it into a, oh geez, don't forget my shape, trapezoid.
Yeah.
Can you, if you did that, would you be able to slide in another one similar to that towards the bottom so that it looks like, you get what I'm saying, where the two shapes connect, where one half looks like it's on the top right?
Yeah.
And the second.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you. I'll
That
do
would
it.
be a good way. That would be a good way to connect it. So, like the next section, you could put it in blue, as because the first one's green, right?
Oh, I got you. Okay. Yeah.
You know
All
what I'm
right.
saying? So, like, if you cut that rectangle in half, right? So, when we see the rectangle that goes towards the top, that's the end of that section. And then on the next section, you can use the blue or whatever. You're right. Yeah. I don't know what you're seeing because I think she was behind where you're at, but
No, yeah, you're behind me. I got it updated now.
yeah. So, like, do something like that where that's the start of it, and then you bring in the next one and kind of comes in under that.
Yeah.
That'd be a good way to visualize it.
No, I like that.
Yeah, you're doing it right now. What I'm saying.
I like that because then basically we can visualize the fact that if it has
It's going forward, and it's
yeah.
I like that a lot. I like that a lot.
I like that there. I'm saving that. But basically, yeah, if it has a flat edge, that means that the player can't go farther than that. And I
Right,
think,
yep,
yeah,
exactly.
that'll be good.
Yep. That's perfect. Yep.
And it shows the forward motion of the game. All right, so that'll be the first scene.
We can kind of slide in. You know, something we need right there, or I could do that. 'Cause
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And what I can do is, even if you don't have Animate right now, I can export these assets. That's why I love this program so much, because I can, if I wanted to, I can just take that little menu like that we just did just now, the little visualization, and just export it as a little JPEG by itself somewhere.
Google doesn't have anything like that yet.
Like what?
They have all these apps that they use, Drive and Documents and Meet and Calendar and all this stuff. But I'm surprised they don't have something that you can do any type of artwork or animations on yet.
They do. They have they have like the VR version of it. What's it called? It's called Tilt Brush, I think it is. I'm pretty sure that's made by Google. And then Google has Google Pixel. Hold on. Google. Is it Google Pixel? No, it's not Pixel. That's the phone. I'm trying to blank. They have something though. It's nothing that anybody uses, but yeah. All right, let me get some Roman soldiers in there. Playing Ghost has definitely made me rethink what we're doing with Sagehead as far as just like basic combat, and that's why I want to start with kind of just him hunting animals and hitting targets and stuff, because I think by the time he gets to actually fighting soldiers, we have to make it so that he has to really incorporate the level, because like the guys had armor and shit back then. Like arrows weren't, you know what I mean? Like it's not like the movies where fucking.
I think that comes into play where I was thinking in terms of environment. Like we can have heavy infantry on the first level, and then on the second level, maybe light infantry, and then you have berserkers who can kind of
right.
You know what I mean? They can jump from level to level depending on where they. I mean, we don't ever know because with the guy kind of does whatever the hell it wants until it hits. So that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
So we can do something like that.
No, I like that.
Heavy on the bottom. They can always put heavy other places. Just have to put like a wall up so we can't walk off of the platform or whatever. But I just think that'd be where we could start integrating environments, because it's like, all right, player, what are you gonna do? You're gonna know with the heavy infantry, or
right.
Know what the hell you're gonna run into on the top level or so on. But we can start breaking it apart where each level has 3 layers, and each layer has specific AI. Activity on there, so
right. No, I like that. I'll try to.
That's kind of how I was designing what we have right now, where each section has a specific set of enemies based off of the environment around them. Like the flying enemies, it's a very open environment, but you can't predict them. So
No, I like that. I'm gonna try to visualize that real quick. So flying. Let's say heavy. All right. Let's say if you go to the middle of the level, the level has three sections. So you have the top, which is the highest you can go. You're gonna be dealing with flying enemies. If you go through the middle, you're gonna kind of have an average fight experience. You got light enemies and medium enemies, and then on the bottom, I would say you have access to the most loot and the most it's the most risk reward type thing going on because you're dealing with heavy enemies.
See, man, depending on how you want to sketch out the levels in terms of that makes sense of the story, the way I'm gonna draw it out. I get a lot of inspiration from Ori, the way they did that. When you're literally when you zoom out and you understand like the entire game is based off of one map, but
Right.
it's broken into sections. And the further underground you go, the less light you have. So you have to use certain skills. So I don't want to get that deep
I
into
see.
it.
I see. No, I like that. That makes sense. That makes sense. I like that.
Basically, like, if we have levels where they drop down, I'm going to have specific lighting effects down there. So when I start to map out these levels, you'll get why I'm doing it with the different AI that we have. So
No, I like that. Did you see that little chart that was made?
certain enemies in those areas because then it just gets frustrating. Like with Ori, enemies in the dark area they're very static. Like you can kind of predict their movements, but you have to see them first, and sometimes it's too late, and then boom, you die.
Right.
So it was kind of this mystery, and they did a good job of the good balance between like your light, because your light that you have would die out after a certain amount of time unless you have more energy.
Right.
So like you can't if you don't have enough energy, there's no point in you going down there because you'll just die. You can't see anything. It's instant. So they just had a lot of really cool. It was so dark and like as your light went out, you can see the darkness closing in on you, and you can in the music it was like a noise. It was like and like as it got louder and louder, you realize, oh shit, I'm about to die. You gotta find some light, and if you don't, boom, you die instantly. It was such a cool mechanic that I didn't see in the first game. And I'm like,
Okay.
this game is just a lot of respect to the studio, man. They just had a lot of really cool mechanics. So
Right.
I'm not gonna get that crazy. I won't get that crazy with this,
Yeah.
but
No, I like that though. It makes sense, and it's like one of those things where you're not. It's not too much going on. You know what I mean? Like it's really practical.
when I go to design and stuff, if we have lower, I'm just gonna have like tree branches and stuff, and dirt and soil, whatever is the background and everything. Like it's not gonna be on top where there's a village and a home and all that stuff. So I really wanted to look like it all matches together. So
Right.
I like the idea of having specific AI on certain levels. That just helps a lot.
I like that. Yeah, I'm just kind of. I'm using this as a level design note taking right now. 'Cause I'm building. I'm trying to visualize what you just said. I'm grabbing some Roman foods right now to throw in there.
I don't want it to go past 3 layers. I think that's more than enough. You have a flat layer, mid-level, and higher level. And again, if we decide to go into sub-levels, it's the same concept.
Yeah.
It just doesn't matter because ultimately it just helps keep it simple. When it comes to designing, it's a lot easier to do it where, all right, we know where the player's starting. And I like how you visualize it with the top arrow under next section. So it's like, all right, from there, now we're in, this is going to be like the main forest area. Okay, well, forest has those 3 layers, right?
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier for me. So like for the home level, there's no reason to have 3 layers, right? It's home, they're practicing.
Right.
Let's not get too crazy. It's only going to have the mid-level.
Right.
So, and I really want it to look like that, where the lower level, I mean, we don't even need to go past 3 levels. The lower level can be the sub-level, quote-unquote.
Yeah.
Like the middle level can have heavy infantry or so on and so forth. So
Right.
I wanted to mindset of doing it like that, where, each level has, and I don't know if you want to put like the stripes in those sections, like, okay, this section is going to have those 3 levels, the low, mid, and high, right?
Yeah.
Home section is only going to have the mid section, or the mid level, right? Because these homers on the Z
Yeah.
So he's just practicing and
No, I like that.
the jumping and the shooting and all that. So it's just the main level. And
Yeah.
then once he gets to the boss fight, maybe he fell down under the forest, like a hole in the forest, and now he's in the bottom level. So now there's a boss. You know what I mean? So
No, I like that.
that was kind of what I read in those articles you sent me. It's just breaking down your levels so that you can literally draw a line for your entire game.
Right.
And then as you get to each section, it's like, okay, this section has the lower level, the mid level, which is quote unquote the main floor, and you have the upper level where you can kind of play around and do a bunch of stuff there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, I like that. And
that was a really helpful thing I read about it, where it's like you visualize it that way, and it's a lot easier to design your game because you're not trying to do all these loop-de-loop crazy stuff. It's just easier to do it on platforms and stuff.
Right. No, I like that. And honestly, the designing like this with the overlapping, it's just helping right now just to lay everything out. Because by the time I'm done,
I'm actually gonna make a note of this myself. But what I do is when I draw these levels out, I'm gonna color code the platforms. So anything that's main level, I'll keep it gray like it currently is. But anything that's upper level, I could do like blue, and then lower level is brown or black or something, right?
Yeah.
So that way you realize you'll actually start to design it. You know that anything that has the red platform is tied to the upper level, and so on and so forth. So it's easier to visualize it.
Right.
The color coding was big for me. It really helped me to do that. And then like even the doors and stuff like that, keep that all uniform. So.
Right. No, I mean I could do that. I'll do that right now. I'll just use some colors right now. So like right now I just got red is for the middle, purple is up at top, and then green is on the bottom. And like you said, we'll just use it so that we'll have certain assets, and that's the way we can organize it in Unity too, where we'll have certain assets where, like you said, in the mid level, actually, let me do this. The mid level is going to be green because that's going to be the surface, and you know, there's the surface of the world, and then the bottom level. Let's just say the bottom level is blue because that's how you can get to. Let's say when you drop down, that's when you're getting into, I don't know, water and cave systems and stuff like that. So we got purple, green, and blue. I got that on the screen, and yeah.
Upper level.
Yeah, the purple's the upper level. I just really thought of like crystals or something that you could possibly see up at the top or something. But what was I gonna say? And then yeah, we'll every item, everything that we add into the game, we'll just, like you said, we'll break down basically what level it is based on where it's gonna go and everything like that. And yeah,
I'm gonna really design an entire document for this. I'm gonna take screenshots of like the chest, change it to a certain shade, and I'm gonna create like a key that we can use. Honestly, not just for the sake of flowing through this when we design, but also I think it'd be cool to kind of release this stuff like, hey, this is the key we use for this game, and just kind of show the name and stuff.
Right.
And so I'm gonna do that with like the same way I have like keys and doors in the current level. I'm gonna reskin it so that it matches. Blue keys are for, like you said, the lower level. Green keys or anything for the mid level. And honestly, once you get in the game, help players realize, oh, I just got myself a blue key. Where the hell do I use it at? But I know, I know it's the lower level, so it's got to be somewhere down there, right?
Right.
So I want to color code everything when we do the basic design without, no skins and nothing else. It's just a bunch of blank backgrounds. It's just very easy to see it that way.
Yeah.
Because right now it's just like gray overload.
Yeah. No, I like that.
Change that.
And that's the thing that, I mean, most good games are gonna do that. What's it called? Ghost does it really good in the sense that, like, when you're just riding on your horse or whatever, and you see a golden bird, that bird is gonna lead you to some type of undiscovered area, some loot, something, whatever.
When I saw the gameplay of it, they showed like a fox that would highlight.
Yeah.
You follow the fox. Yeah. Like,
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Man,
The way they did And then yeah, like I'm on a mission right now to find some bow. And the way it's such an immersive game because they don't ever make you just click through menus and stuff. Like
Yeah.
the whole thing is just like, all right, they give you like this Japanese style painting, and they're just like, you need to find this mountain that has
You know
purple
what that
flowers
is?
at the base. Yeah,
Did you ever see that game Outward?
I saw it. I never played it though.
It's they did it was such a unique game because like there's no map or anything. Like well, there's a map, but there's no checkpoints and stuff like that.
Uh
Like it's the same thing. Like you pull the map up and you have to look at the map for landmarks and stuff. And
okay.
I played it, man, and it was I don't know, man. There's something about it. Like the graphics aren't all that good. The enemy's not all that good. Like if I had to give it a rank out of 10, I'd probably give it a 6 or 7. But I really appreciate. You can tell this was an indie studio,
Right.
and they did that very similar. Like everything was wrong. If you died, you went all the way back to like the town. There was no save points out in the wild.
Right.
So
Nice.
you had to prepare yourself. You know, you had to if it got cold outside, you had to start a fire, search spots. I mean, it was.
I like that.
Yeah, it was a really good game, man. I don't know if a lot of people. I played it last year, and I don't know, man. It was just a very interesting game.
I just looked at I just looked it up real quick. It looked like it has decent reviews. You know.
Yeah,
Is that 70%?
I don't know, man. I haven't played a game like that in a while, probably ever. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was very interesting, though.
No,
I
I like
had
that.
a lot of respect for it because it was, you know, you could tell they put a lot of work into it for what they had. So
Right. I like that.
that was a fun game that I played last year. I just remember what you just said. It reminded like Ghost of Tsushima. It reminded me if it's like that, then
Word.
I know for a fact I would enjoy it.
No, you will. It's such an immersive game that they use colors so good. You know, like
How's
the
the fighting mechanics? Is it pretty intense?
it threw me off at first because I was just playing Sekiro, you know, and then because I was really into Sekiro, like I got really good at the game or whatever, and yeah, but it was just so different. And once I realized, like, okay, this is a completely different game. Let's just play it the way it's supposed to be played. I fell in love with it because, like, basically you have different stances. So when you're
Right,
fighting,
exactly.
you fight. It does. I don't know. It just does what Assassin's Creed couldn't do, and it does what Batman does good. But it makes you feel like a badass, you know, samurai, and it throws all these enemies at you. But it's not easy. It's not a button masher, you know. So you have to use all your different stances. Yeah. So like spearmen, you have to use the wind stance. So and then guys with shields, you have to use the stone stance to break their shield. And it's just like it's really good. And then you know when you change your stances, you can change it mid swing. You change the stance, and it slows down the game, and you can kind of rotate everything. And you got a whole arsenal of these whole samurai tools and shit. And yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, yeah. You might be able to get a PlayStation for cheaper. Chavez just bought one, I think, for 150. I think he just got it. Yeah. No, no. That's funny. That's hilarious. That's, yeah, that's hilarious. The funny thing is though that wasn't even a Japanese studio that made that game. Yeah, that's just that's just hilarious. But yeah, no, I'm really excited. I'm really happy about that game. That game, it's just everything about it is just really good quality. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But not really because I can't like I literally just don't have the time to sit there and play it through and through like that. Like I play in spurts, so it's not. Yeah, yeah. Like literally, yeah, literally before I got on the phone with you, I had something, I had a documentary on Netflix or whatever, and Miles was going berserk and yeah, causing chaos, and I'm like, it was too late for me to be fighting with you by this damn Xbox. So here, watch what you want to watch before you go to bed, and that's just literally how it goes down with the PlayStation all the time. Like he freaks out. He's at that age where he just wants me to, he wants me or one of his brothers just to play the game that he wants to play, so he could watch it. And I'm just like, motherfucker, you got me just sitting here playing fucking Spider-Man. I'm just jumping around doing random shit, and I do not want to be playing this game. It's funny, but let me see. Going back to that, like just playing that game and then kind of playing. There's another game I was playing recently too. I'm trying to remember what it was, but whatever it was, the idea is that I'm playing games for kids, and you know, some of these games you have to they have to be so visually. We're at that point now where games just have to be extremely visually pleasing because it's not an isolated Game Boy experience. You know what I mean? It's not an arcade experience. It's a big screen. It's either a big screen experience or it's a mobile experience. But you know what I want to aim for is big screen, and then you know eventually we'll go down to the little screens like Switch, and then you know mobile and everything like that. But I'm trying to remember what game I was playing. It might have been Rayman, or I don't know. I was playing some. I've been downloading so many damn games, but whatever the game it was, it just had so much going on. So like with Ghost of Tsushima at the beginning, you have like this huge battle, and there were just so many layers. And you know, I know if I replayed it, I would see stuff I didn't see before, and like that's what I want to get. When we actually get to the battle in Sagehead, and I think that like I'm gonna visualize it right now in this little timeline, but I think that that's what the Kickstarter and or the Patreon is really going to be used for, in the sense of, hey, you know, we're making this game. This is what this first demo looks like with kind of an isolated village. You know, you're able to hunt, you're able to shoot in a range. The scene 2 is going to be about a battle prep. So I think we'll use that to introduce the players to different enemies and stuff like that. And then scene 3 is when we're really getting into the game. So scene 3 is going to be, I would say, that's when we need production funds. You know what I mean? So yeah, because my whole thing is I want to upgrade the computer to the point where I can really do some really cool shit like crowd simulation, and have like, so crowd simulation is taking like hundreds of and dozens of characters. Let's say you just have dozens of archers, you know, cocking back and shooting the arrow, and animating that. You don't animate it one by one. You do what's called a crowd simulation and simulate, you know, that whole type of animation or whatever. And that's what I want to talk about in the Patreon, and say, you know, this is why we need to upgrade the computers. This is why we need the extra money, because we're trying to make a real good looking battle that, you know, you're a part of, you know. So I'm gonna visualize that right now. Right. Mhm. Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying. Like, are you still looking at the stream? All right. So let's see. So this is, if you all right. So if you look at C2, really, I think if we just go, I would say C. Yeah. I mean, yeah, War Ready is. I think that's a place to stop, because if you stop at, all right, let me visualize it real quick. If you stop at War Ready and you isolate it so that you have let me move this over. Isolate it so that at the end of War Ready, you're literally getting prepared. You're getting prepared for battle. And let's say we get to the part of the story where Sagehead is scouting and he runs into a little a skirmish. He gets into a skirmish where he runs into some enemies, and then we have this little break off right here where we have a boss fight, and then that ends, and then we have, yeah, so we have this right here where this is going to be, I would say, the game trailer or Patreon trailer. Yeah, I'll name it Patreon trailer. Yep. 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 Pretty much. Yeah. That's how you got to do it. No, my son's. You have to understand my son's confusion when we go to the store to get a toy, and he's like, "Why is there a Taskmaster toy?" Like, I'm so confused. Yeah, who is Taskmaster? We got the toy. It was on clearance because they were supposed to release the movie. Yeah, but I was confused. Oh yeah, for sure. A lot of that stuff is on sale because of that. Like that's why we grabbed him a Taskmaster. He loves it. He just fucking plays with him. Um, but yeah, that shit's hilarious. But could you? Uh-huh. No, just talking right now on the stream and like this is really helpful for me because I'm able to. So like even all right, so just to kind of put a cap to this, even I would say we got the Patreon trailer because technically, all right, so we're making this first game would be considered just the beta. Yeah, this part of the game before you get to the Patreon trailer would be the beta, and then I would say have three more scenes or two more scenes after this. So we have about, I'm saying scenes. I'm not necessarily just a one scene in Unity. All right, so maybe I'll call them acts. I'll call them acts. Yeah, I'll do Act 1, Act 2, just to make it not confusing. But so we have four different acts, and I would say after that mid part of Patreon, not to go crazy. Like I don't want to say, okay, we got the Patreon money, let's make it end of the game. It's just not necessary because we still, I think it would be good to just say, hey, we're gonna have a huge, the end of the game, I think is gonna be really ambitious because what I'm thinking is just putting them into the middle of a huge battle, and you're this badass Legolas, is that how you say it, Legolas, Lord of the Rings type archer that's just like protecting this dude. Like, yeah, I just have that visualized or whatever. But yeah, I think it'd be a cool like roller coaster towards that, not necessarily a whole fucking, sit down ride. All right, so we got War Ready, I would say, and then yeah, I'll just put Battle of Alessia, Battle of Alessia, because I mean this whole story right here really isn't that long, anyways. You have. Right. Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Right. Oh yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's just like we do it for the people, so to speak, and just make it fun for everybody involved. And I'm getting used to. I want to get used to the streaming and all that now, because like right now I could be on live. I can have the camera on me. I got the light set up and everything to look good, to actually stream my face and everything if I wanted to. So I'm just getting used to that because I'm watching streams like I told you. There's a ton of different live streams that people do that people are actively waiting for them to stream. You know what I mean? Like if I go to YouTube and say, and I put for my subscribers that hey, I'm gonna be streaming tomorrow at fucking 3 o'clock or whatever. I can do that, and people can log in and then remind themselves to watch that stream, and then they can send tips through the stream and all that. So yeah, I'm definitely anticipating all that. And really, the thing about that, what we're going to do different is we're going to lean into that, man. We're going to lean into the fact that it's going to be interactive, and I want to have that extra input from people because I want them to feel like they really had part of making this game. Imagine if fucking I don't know. Imagine if Cyberpunk opened up some type of forum and said, hey, and mind you, some of these games have done this in the past on the ZBrush forums where they open up artwork and they say, hey, we're having an art contest for there's a damn game I know. I can't remember what game it was. Maybe it was Borderlands. Yeah, I think it was Borderlands. Yeah, I think you got to design like a gun for that game, and yeah, I got the community really involved with it. Everybody's excited. Cyberpunk did something similar to that. I just can't remember what it was. I don't know if it was something for the game or like that little anime thing that they have. Okay, okay. Nice. Right. Right. So yeah, I'm okay. That's cool. Yeah, I used to be like really on the cutting edge of all that stuff, but I just don't have the time to participate nowadays. So I don't. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Unfortunately. Right, right. I mean, they've had Unity, contests like that too, and you see what comes out of that, and you're like, dude, y'all people go crazy on this stuff. I like this little visual I got right here. This is really makes things a lot easier. And then really we'll just mhm. Well, from here, what do you say? Yeah, yeah, no, I get that. Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I like that. Yeah. Oh yeah, and then with this graphic right here, this is gonna help me kind of just dig deeper into the individual acts, and then figure out, okay, what in War Ready, what is he doing exactly right now? He's gathering this, he's talking to who, I'm gonna input the actual, characters that we're gonna be using in certain situations, and actual mechanics that we're gonna be using, and enemies and all that stuff. So yeah, it's gonna be really helpful. I got you. Yeah, definitely. Um, still, I gotta figure out what I'm doing with my computers because these assets that I bought, they're pretty heavy, and I need to get my computer back up and running to get a proper demo up and running with SageHead. In the meantime, I'm just gonna keep doing stuff like this, just get everything planned out and all that, because really I can at least get the assets and everything created before we jump into actual production. Because what I'm looking at with the Act One and Act Two and that Patreon trailer, I think the trailer is going to be the real big thing as far as the next step for me to figure out, because I want to have a good animatic planned out, because with this game and how ambitious it's becoming. I think that a real epic, cool fucking trailer is gonna be really gonna sell people, because 'cause we can stand out in this time of I think it's a good time right now because it's a lot less diverted attention everywhere, so. Even me, I'm paying a little bit more attention to different indie games right now and seeing what different people are doing and all that stuff. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, okay. Or mm. You gotta look up if if these Gallic people drunk any type of whiskey, liquor, or any type of. Kind of curious now. Oh, well, there you go. Shit. Hold on. Let me look up. I'm gonna just Google it so I can look it up later. We more makes sense. Yeah, we can add that because I don't know. I think just in general. I mean, like fucking. I hate to keep using Ghost, but it's just the game I'm playing right now. But like, yeah, like one of the missions you're because all right, so like the game, and I'm not spoiling anything. It's in the trailer. You have Mongols that come and take over this island of Japan. That's what happened. And they without going into many details, you have to find Survivor Island because you're just kind of thrown in there and you don't know what's from what. One mission, it's a side mission too. It's not even a main mission. It's a little side mission, and you're finding this guy that is it's kind of interesting. He stayed alive because he makes sake. There you go. Yeah, and he makes it for the Mongols, and he basically remixed already drinking and made it better. And it was a little side thing. It was kind of interesting. It was like, yeah, dude, that how be able to survive back then. And you got like an invading force, and you have the people that survived were people that actually did things. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Mm, right. I'm gonna write that down because I like that. Cool. We can craftsman because we can add that just as just a class of NPCs that you run into. People that might have items. Right. 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 I see. Okay. 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 I'm gonna re-download that. I was kind of against Game Pass for a second, but then the kids love all the damn games on there, so I'm trying to just yeah. So we got it again, so I'm gonna re-download more again for the kids. That'd be a cool little thing. Yeah, yeah, that sucks. Hmm. Yeah, no, it's genius. It's genius. Right, right. No, it's genius. The PlayStation is trying to do the same thing with the PlayStation Now. So yeah, right, right. Mhm. Yeah, yeah, especially on the system. Like just looking at even me, like there's so many games like Chavez and Cameron. They're fucking hardcore on the PlayStation. And they got all types of games. They're just like, oh, you gotta play this, you gotta play. I'm like, dude, I'm just sitting around fucking playing games like you guys. Like, I can't. All right, I'm exporting out this graphic right now, and this is just what I have right now. I'll be editing it a little bit more myself. Okay. You used what?